Yes, people, we are live back at the Albert JTV household. Well, kind of, at the Holly's Hotspurs household. Match review time. Wales nil, the mighty Three Lions three. But before we get into it, people, let's hit the intro.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream.
And there you have it, people. Surround the intro into match review time. The mighty Three Lions are into the second round stage against the mighty Senegal, which we will touch on. But I've got my amazing co-host, Hollie Agumbar. Now, people, before I get into it, now I'm not in the studio. I'm not even in my house. I'm still at work with literally about 20 minutes to go. But listen, couldn't wait. And apologies again because I should have said to people on the social media platforms, we're going an extra 15 minutes a bit later. So apologies, people. But people, smash the like button on my channel and Hollie Agumbar's channel as well. Get them subscribers up and that watch time, people. So Hollie, welcome back again for another match review. How you been?
All right, I've actually got a lot to discuss in goals wise for once. It was actually quite a nice game to actually watch.
It was.
So yeah, I'm all right. And also, I just want to say a big thank you to Carl that has become a member for another month running. What a geezer! Thank you, Carl.
Well done, Carl. Well done. Salute to you, sir. And we unfortunately my one of my people couldn't make it after analyzed had some family commitments, but we've got the fantastic Wezzo back on. Sorry, Wesley McGrath. Sorry, should I say sorry. Wes, thank you for coming on. How you been, mate?
Yeah, all good. Full government name tonight, Albert. Do you know what I mean? What's going on here? But no, obviously all good to be back on. And yeah, thank you for having me as always.
No worries. Listen, pleasure to have you. Even though you support, a certain team in North London, it's all love, man, because it's the World Cup. There's been so much football. I've been loving football, man. But yeah, let's get into it, man. So England emphatically beat the Dragons. They called the nickname. What's the nickname? The Wales? Is it the Dragons?
The Welsh
Flying Dragons now.
But yeah, listen. There was a lot spoken about with England in regards to the game against USA and the performance. But I think prediction wise, Holly, I can't remember what you said. I think I went 3-1 England, but
yeah, I think I said 2-1. I think.
Yeah, it was reasonably. It was actually more comfortable than I thought it would be. And that's no disrespect to Wales. I just think that second game did them in, man. That defeat to Iran completely capitulated any chance of them getting through. But yeah, sort of coming to Wes first before I come to my fantastic co-host. Wes, what did you make of 4 changes, obviously from the team against USA? Happy with the changes and Foden comes in. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think every England fan was so happy to see Prince Philip Foden in an England shirt doing his thing on the big stage, because this guy's just a talent. He's unbelievable. Yeah. And the thing for me with the USA game was you get to around 60, 65 minutes and you have a player like him available to you and you don't put him on. It was just really, really strange, because he is a player that can make something happen out of absolutely nothing. And I think we saw that time and time again last night. Obviously, he gets fouled for the free kick, which Rashford scored, and then obviously pops up with a goal. He's a player for big games as well, Foden. We're seeing that a lot more, I think, in a City shirt. And yeah, I just think everybody was just buzzing with that. So yeah, I think, the 4 change, it needed a bit of a refresh, I think, given I wouldn't say the stale nature of the performance, but the sort of negativity surrounding the performance. And I think, it was good to see the guys coming in that obviously came in and they took their chance, to be fair.
Yeah. Before I bring in the fantastic Hollie to whip another question in. Yeah. You know what? I think you're right, Wes. With the turnaround of games in this tournament, you do need to freshen up. You do. So glad to see the Foden come in. To be fair, you know what? Kyle Walker, considering the amount of football he's missed, I thought he did really, really well, man. The Rashford I saw yesterday was a Rashford I expected to see 4 years ago in Russia. Maybe he's a bit younger than I'm not too sure, but he does look really, really sharp. But yeah, let me hand over to the fantastic Hollie.
I was just gonna say, like, adding on to that, didn't you find it quite strange, Wes, that Wales didn't really need to go for it? They didn't seem to come out the blocks, did they? They just kind of sat back, soaked up the pressure, and thought they could hit us on the break. You would have thought, knowing that they needed 4 goals at the start, they would have come out the blocks a bit more. Do you not think?
Yeah, no, I think I was speaking to somebody today actually about it, and the Wales game plan and the way they approached it tactically was really, really strange. I get it from a certain perspective of like, right, we don't want to go all gung-ho to begin with because we'll get picked off. But surely you would have felt at some point they had to just go for it. And I think had Wales just first 10 minutes, for example, just gone, right, we're coming at you, England. We're going to go full press. We're going to really come after you. And it would have been interesting to see how this England team would have reacted to that. But yeah, I think obviously the 2 goals in 2 minutes in the second half, you could see after the second goal, it just absolutely deflated them. And, you know, they didn't really have anything to really sort of come back to. And it ended up being a real disappointing performance then from Wales, and you look at it and they've sort of gone out on a whimper really without sort of putting up a fight in a game which means a lot to not only England fans but Wales fans and the Welsh people as well. So yeah, it just sort of felt a little bit disheartening, a bit deflating, I think, from a Wales perspective.
It was almost like it was damage control, I thought, from the off. They were like, let's try and keep our pride and not concede too many.
Yeah, it felt like, you know, let's try and stay in the game for as long as we can, get to around 60, 65 minutes, maybe even 70, try and nick one. But, you know, they just had to really just go for it. And I think a lot more fans of football would have probably appreciated it if they'd have just gone, do you know what, let's just go for it. We've got absolutely nothing to lose. You know, if we get a couple of goals, fantastic. If not, well, we're probably heading out anyway. So at least let's go out with our heads held high and go like, look, we had a real go at England.
No, well said, Wes. Actually, let me come to Hollie first and I'll bring Wes in afterwards. They will speak about the fact, yeah, it was great to see Foden in, but I would have personally liked to see a little bit more central. You know, he can play there. Don't get me wrong, he can play in that position that he played against Wales, but I'd like to see him a little bit more central. So, I guess you would have been pleased to see Southgate made a slight adjustment by switching Foden and Marcus Rashford. What did you make of Foden in the first half, especially?
Yeah, I think he played well. I think, like I said, we were all screaming out for it. We all wanted him to play, and to actually see him on the team sheet and starting and performing the way he did was great. In terms of like where he played, I think he did all right. Like I said, he did a job. Like I say, does he feel more comfortable playing in the other position? I mean, it worked regardless. But yeah, I thought he played all right, to be fair.
No. Well, it's sort of the same thing as well. But I'll be honest, like it's sort of touching on Wales a little bit. I was quite disappointed with him, actually, if I'm being honest with you. And it's not because I'm not going to say I'm a massive Welsh fan or I have anything against them. But other than that second half against USA, I mean, I saw the highlights of the Iran game, and Iran deserved to win, to be honest with you. And I understand you're coming up against a quality side in England, but you know, the likes of Bell and Ramsey, very, very anonymous. And I think that's the problem you've got in this tournament generally. I think I mentioned it last time. You've got a lot of players that ain't played a lot of football. I mean, Joe Allen hasn't played for about over 2 months. The cover to get in a World Cup with no game time is madness. But I was a bit disappointed in Wales. But yeah, sort of same question to you about Foden. You're obviously pleased to see him in, but in the position he played in, or was you not really too fussed either way?
I personally think that is one of Foden's best positions, out wide on the right. Okay. He's able to, the way he manipulates the ball, I think he could literally play anywhere, Phil Foden. But I just think on the right, he offers a lot more, I think, in terms of a balance with the team. And I like the fact that he doesn't always drive at his opponent, like his defender, at pace. He's very strategic in how he goes at a player. But I think he's one of those players as well that when he gets the ball, I think similarly to what we saw with Grealish when he came on against the USA, as soon as he got the ball, there was players attracted to him. It opens up spaces for others. But I think Foden is just that step ahead of Grealish in the sense that he will probably spot that pass a little bit quicker than perhaps Grealish would. And yeah, I mean, he's, like I say, he's just an unbelievable player, Phil Foden, and he's a nightmare for any defender. But I think arguably sort of that right hand side, or perhaps just operating in a 3 like he does for City, but on that sort of right hand side of a midfield 3. I just think that's where he's devastating. He's brilliant at receiving on the half turn. He knows how to use his body well. I think his idol, he said, is David Silva.
What a
not
player!
Bad.
What a
not
player!
Bad. So, and you can see little elements of David Silva's game in Prince Philip Foden. So yeah, listen, I think I could wax lyrical about Foden all day, but again, I think credit goes to Rashford as well. I think this World Cup we're starting to see a different Rashford, a more confident Rashford, and he could be. In this mood and in this form, I think Rashford is somebody who defenders will be fearing, because again, he's got the pace. He's really direct in possession. When he gets the ball, his first thought is, "I'm going to go at my opponent." And again, that is a threat, I think, for England, and a real weapon for England. And I think that's where perhaps Foden and Rashford have done better so far in the World Cup than Sterling and Saka. I don't think those two at the moment have really grasped the opportunity that they've had. And I feel like, especially with Sterling, I know his club form isn't the greatest at Chelsea. I know obviously Saka's been flying this season for Arsenal, but I just feel like with Sterling in particular, we're not seeing the Euros Raheem Sterling. We're seeing a different Sterling. I think Saka will grow into an England shirt eventually, but I think he's just got a little bit of a way to go for me, just to displace at the moment Foden and Rashford. I think they're the two we got to go with against Senegal.
Great points, Wes. Hollie, before you come in, our question, let me just pose something to you, Hollie. Just want to mention. I think it's similar. I'll talk about Harry Kane actually. Is it similar? I think it's probably similar a little bit with the Euros, because I think he didn't score in any of the group games, and then he didn't score until I think the last 16 game against Germany. How have you seen his form before you come in? You know what? Listen, he's a phenomenal goal scorer. Let's have it right. And if you're not scoring, you've got to be contributing to the team, and he has. Listen, assist king. I don't know what the assists are for the tournament for players, but I'd have to check that out. Anyone in the chat, drop it in if you know. But are you worried about his form, or do you think he's saving the goals for knockout stages?
It's so weird. I literally had written down to ask you, Albert, this question, being obviously an Arsenal fan. But it's really shy. I was going to ask you next. But I think, like you said, the fact that he is contributing, it might not be goals. He is doing something in order to get a goal for the team. And you see him do this for Spurs as well. Like every Spurs fan, we're not obviously he scores goals as well, but we're not alien to this. We see him being that player that sets everyone up. We just need 2 Kanes for Spurs, I think, but sadly we can't have that. I think the goals will come. Like you said, it took him, what you say, last 16, didn't you? So I think they will come. It's just he's saving them up, I think. But yeah, I think he needs that goal. Not that he needs confidence, but just to be like, all right, I'm here now, sort of thing. Because at the moment, like you say, people have got these doubts. They're saying, well, he's England striker. Where is his goals? Yeah, he's got assists, which is great, but he's a striker. Where's the goal? So I think it will come. But once he's banged one in, that'll be it. Well, it'll be flying.
Yeah, sure, that's true. Wes, coming to you, Hollie. I know I'll let you come. I know you've got another million questions behind, but when it comes to Wes quickly, so I want to ask you quickly about. I know Guy Lineker was absolutely purring about Jude Bellingham, and rightly so. That guy is just phenomenal, man. We spoke about him last time. Well, Hollie couldn't make that one because there's a work commitment, but I did the review for the did the review for the Iran game with G Talks, and with Jude Bellingham, I mean, I don't watch a lot of Bundesliga, not like I used to anyway. So to see him more prominent and to see how good he really, really is frightening. I think he went under the radar a bit actually the other night, but I thought he was excellent. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, no, a different type of performance, I think, from man like Jude. I think he kind of had a bit of a free role, but actually he seemed really disciplined in his role.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason he wears 22, as we all know the story. You know, the academy coach at Birmingham thought he could be a 4, an 8, and a 10. and I love the fact that he can just flitter almost between those three different roles at any point. But honestly, this tournament for Jude Bellingham has been the perfect stage at the perfect time, because everybody's talking about how good he is. But for me, I haven't really seen it in an England shirt as much. So I know, like, obviously in the summer with the Nations League, you couldn't pass a football, and I'm there going, what is going on with Jude Bellingham? Like, honestly, but this tournament, frightening. 19 years of age, mate, just to do what he's doing, like, on this big stage, and being almost that go-to midfield player for England.
Yeah,
frightening. And he now is got everything in my eyes to be a top draw and a top class midfielder. Because he was just everywhere, I think, and his composure on the ball as well is fantastic. And yeah, again, he's another one I could speak so highly of, but I'll leave the experts on BBC and ITV to do it for me.
Well said. Hollie, come in, Hollie, with a killer question like you always do.
I mean, like we spoke about, obviously Wales are out the way. We dust them pretty much off the scene, packed them back on the plane, back home. The next up is obviously Senegal. And Wes, how are you kind of feeling? Because obviously I've looked at the results, as I normally do, to do my homework. The team they lost against is obviously Netherlands, and they scored their goals quite late on. So with that in mind, how are you kind of feeling about this game?
Yeah, I think I was low-key buzzing when the Netherlands scored, because I got them in a sweepstake at work. So yeah, I was pretty happy about that. But then somebody reminded me as well that I've also got Senegal in a sweepstake, so I'm going brilliant. But I think Netherlands were, my kind of team that I was sort of backing for that one. Yeah, somebody else asked me this question as well about how I'm feeling about drawing Senegal, and I think, but am I worried? Not as much as I would be if they had Sadio Mane, have to say. Don't get me wrong, they've still got some good players. But I think from an England perspective, we should have more than enough to get the job done, and hopefully progress. But it's England. They have that Spursy nature about them at times where they make it very difficult, as we all know. So yeah, I think, listen, without Mane, completely different conversation. Obviously, with Mane, you know what he brings. He's a threat, goal threat. He can run in behind, and everything else. But yeah, I think without him, it's a little bit different. And I think England will feel a little bit more relaxed because there isn't Sadio Mane. He is their go-to person. He is their, like, Lionel Messi. He is their Ronaldo, basically. That go-to guy that turns up all the time. So yeah, I think we should have enough to get the job done.
I think so. And I think the question is as well, like Hazard said in the chat about Foden being class, which we banged on about all night, but he has to start against Senegal. I think he's confirmed his starting position now. Yeah,
no, 100%. Prince Philip, just Prince Philip Foden. That's all I need to say on that one. Yeah, I think he definitely deserves his place. I think Rashford is looking like he's undroppable at the moment. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how we line up in midfield. Does he go with Rice and Henderson and Bellingham? Does he go, because I think Bellingham's a shoe-in. So will he start Calvin Phillips? Is Maddison going to get a look in as well? So I think Southgate's got some good options. I think he's got more than NSG. So it's he'd be England manager.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm in a couple of a very distinguished group chat with my Arsenal brothers, to be fair. But yeah, the Senegal game is going to be intriguing, and you made the point that Mane's obviously not going to be there as a miss, but they've got some players that can hurt England, and also as well, I can't remember the exact numbers, but they don't concede a lot of goals. In their qualifying, I think they conceded 5 in 8, I think. And the AFCON, they'd hardly conceded any goals, obviously winning the tournament. And they've got a very good manager in Cisse, ex-Birmingham, I think ex-Birmingham City player, actually played in the Premier League. But it's going to be an intriguing game on Sunday. Sorry, I was going to say Sunday. And England got extra days rest as well, which is going to help. But I think defensively, if England haven't been tested so far, they will be on Saturday. They will be on Sunday. Sarr's got rapid pace. Walker's definitely going to come back in. The England lineup's going to be interesting. I do think Rashford will keep his place. Foden, to me, he needs to start because, like I said, defensively they're very difficult to break down. Unless they're having a complete nightmare on the Sunday, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see the team lineup. But yeah, so we're coming back. I'm gonna come back to Hollie again before we've got another. What's the time now? We're gonna do another 2 or 3 minutes, but come back to my amazing Hollie. Firstly, where will you be watching the game on Sunday?
I will be watching it after I put my Christmas tree out with my mum and dad. In the renovated, they call it the snuggle room because we can't sit in the Ag and bar outside. So the indoor bar.
Well, I'm going a bit fast forward here, but I'm going to bring in Wes as well. I'll ask you kind of the same question before we wrap up. Obviously, if England do get the job done on Sunday, there's a potential. Obviously, people would have worked out the routes of who England could play France. Now, what would be your kind of immediate thoughts really with that tie if England do manage to get through on Sunday? Coming to Hollie first, actually.
Be interesting to say the least. To be honest, I don't think that one will be as easy to predict with Mbappe. And then Hugo Lloris in goal. Hopefully, Hugo Lloris has a flap like he does for Spurs sometimes.
Yes,
come on, that's Hugo. The only time I want him to flap.
What's a favourite Hugo? Go on, son.
But no, I think it'd be interesting. I mean, Wes, what are you kind of thinking?
I think I'll be watching it at home. I've got a packed day of one-to-one sessions beforehand, so that's my chill time. And if we do get through, it's against France, and we need to have a word with the big man upstairs, I think, because we need all the help we can get. Having watched them, they are absolutely frightening. The pace they have out wide with Mbappe and Dembele, it's honestly
Giroud, Griezmann, it's mad. Rabiot.
Tuchemani. I mean, I watched the first game and it was as if he was just playing FIFA and he just controlled absolutely everything, Tuchemani. And I was there going, this boy's a proper player. First time I'd really seen him play and I was like, he's proper. I think, as Hollie said, we may need Hugo to have a few cheeky vinos before the game, just to maybe give us a helping hand. But like I say, I think we're going to need all the help we can get against France because every time I see them, they just look the part. Giroud, one of the most underrated strikers of his generation. Considering he's played for you lot, he's a striker that I seriously admire and wanted us to sign a couple of times. To be fair, because I just think he's just the perfect foil for every. He's a winger's and a number 10's dream because he does all the hard work for you and then just lays it off on a plate for you whenever you need it.
He would be ideal for Arsenal now. Not when he was up. It is mad it's worked out, but go on, mate. Sorry, go
on. Like I say, he's just that perfect foil. He's literally the waiter because he's just like, how can I serve you? Like, where do you want it? I'll put it there.
Good liveness. I like it.
The worst bit about it is as well, he is a bit of a good looking geezer, isn't he, Giroud? Like, no homo, like, do you know what I mean? He's a bit of a good looking guy as well.
He is a good looking lad. He is.
Yeah, once those attacking players and once France are in the mood, I think their first game they had a bit of a dicky 20 minutes, but after that they went, you know what, we're France, and they just turned it on. And when you get a team of players like that, it's very, very difficult to stop. But I don't think anybody would begrudge us going out against a world-class team like France because their squad depth. I think majority of players that aren't in the World Cup would probably start for the majority of nations across the tournament. To be fair.
No, well said. Listen, I think when it's knockout football, this is when the stakes really, really turn up, and I think you'll probably see England under Southgate go back into a more defensive role. But I can understand that because if obviously they get through Senegal's got rapid pace as well, which will give them trouble, and obviously playing France potentially, that's going to be tough. And I think the thing we're going to want to see probably as England fans or just fans of football is, are England, particularly in the central areas, are they brave enough to get on the half turn? take a risk in the midfield and not just try and play it safe and pop it back to Maguire and Stone to Maguire and then back to the fullbacks. They've got the players to do it, because sometimes the handbrake needs to come off. So, but I mean, my ultimate dream before we wrap up is the England-Brazil final. I listen. I've only seen England play Brazil once in my lifetime in the World Cup, so I would love to see it again. Whether it happens, England have got the potential to make the final. They've got killers in the attacking final third to get there, but it's how brave they are on the ball and are they willing to take the ball by the horns against top quality opposition. And that's kind of where we see it. But people, as I said before, obliterate the like button, mash it up, kick it, poke it on my channel and Hollie's channel. Wes, you've been a fantastic guest yet again for this World Cup collaboration. Tell the people, the football community, where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, so on Twitter at Wezo10, usually just tweeting about Moussa Dembele and Rodrigo Bentancur. Pretty much about it, really.
He's had Rodrigo to it.
Mate, oh, what a boy. Did you see his maze up the other day? Oh, mate, if he'd have scored that, my Twitter would have gone absolutely mental with just spam about Bentancur. And yeah, Instagram at Wezo32, up and down the country, usually following the mighty Spurs, North London's finest, the only North London team in the Champions League.
Hold on a minute. Listen, I'm going to put you at the chat in a minute if you cover that kind of talk.
And yeah, and I also run my own football coaching business in the Milton Keynes area, the Deli Alley country, trying to inspire and develop the next gen of footballer, both male and female, so boys and girls. So at Kofa MK on Instagram and Kickoff Football Academy on Facebook, and Kofa MK on TikTok for that as well. But yeah, thank you for having me on, and make sure that everybody checks in on Uncle Albert and Hollie, because they're doing some fabulous work. So guys, keep it up.
Appreciate it, Wes. And of course, my Tottenham YouTube wife.
Woo!
Yeah. It's another great stream again. Thank you again for joining us. Work and 20 games of football a day is difficult to get the streams in before the kickoff, which is right now. But Hollie, you tell the people where they can find you. Obviously, just tell them anyway.
Just find me, Hollie Agamar. Done. Bish bash bosh. And Albert, where can the people find you, my friend?
Yes, people. Albert JTV. Twitter handle is right next to it at AUMO57. You'd be surprised the amount of people to get my surname wrong. It's only 4 letters, but it happens. It's fine. But no, people, you will see me doing life stories episodes and weekly surgery to spice it up a little bit. Not just Arsenal stuff, but football general related topics. But Hollie, it's always a pleasure. People, we will be back. We will be back next Monday for the review of hopefully England progressing through to the quarterfinals against Senegal. We've forgot the team that's playing, to be honest. It's madness. But people, like I said, obliterate the like button for both channels and subscribe as well, people. If I can find the outro, it's going to be somewhere, people. Bear with me. Also, I forgot one more thing. Audio listeners, of course, this will go out on my Spotify and Anchor, and you can hear everybody's dulcet tones, people. Just want to get that in right. But people, this is a fantastic match review done. Over and out. We will see you on Monday for the match review for Senegal. Over and out, people.